Welcome to the Magic Manifesting Mindset podcast. I'm your host, Monica, and today we have a very special guest. We have Lindsay, who is a soul activator and soul architect. Now, if this is your first time on the podcast, this is going to be your space to shift your mindset, realign your energy, trust in your innate gifts, and, well, ultimately become abundant AF. Not only do we talk about the woo, but we discuss the science, the psychology, and the practical ways to manifest our desires and make that money. So let's get into it. So, Lindsay, why don't you describe to us basically a breakdown of what you do and how your craft actually works? And if you can, how it's impacted your life and the people you serve?
Oh wow. Okay. That's a lot. Let's see. Let me start with as you shared. So I'm like a soul activator. I really truly help connect people back to the true essence of who they are at soul level. So I utilize the Akashic Records, but I do it in a different way than a lot of readers do because it's based truly on my gift. So my soul's blueprint and my gift is all about embodiment and the physical experience. And honestly, my gifts are divine manifestation and divine power. So, I mean, it makes sense that I would
Yeah.
help people really ground their spiritual self into their human self. Because at the end of the
Ooh, love
day, that's
that.
what our souls came here to experience, right? So I'm the woo woo, but with the really grounded, embodied, like, how do we do human? How do we bring those higher levels of consciousness into our human self, our human experience, and create a life beyond our wildest dreams? Like, that's
Ooh,
what
nice.
really I'm all about. And so, and utilizing the Akashic Records that way, because I had no idea really how vast and what was in it.
Now, can
Like,
I
I
stop you right here? For those of the listeners that don't know what the Akashic Records are, could you describe what they are real quick?
Sure. So, simply put, it is basically an energetic database of everything in this universe beyond past, present, future. I call it so we have our own individual, but then everything within has its present life, your past lives, and your future um, lives. Like everything about you. So, your soul's blueprint, which exists in the 5D. So this is your divine soul blueprint, as I shared a little bit about mine, where your soul originated, what your divine gifts are, and so much more. And that is I call it's your instruction manual. It is how you take spiritual you, soul level gifts, but bring it into your human experience. So it's how you do relationships, it's how you do your life, it's how you do work, it's and stuff, so alignment and misalignment. And so yes, I say, so each of us has like a drive, a folder within the big Google Drive. It would be the Akashic Records, out there in the cloud. Like if you want to, for people again who are maybe not fully into the woo woo, think of it, it's the cloud, and then you've got the Google Drive, and then each of us plus everything in existence has a folder within this big energetic library.
That's a great
Um,
analogy as far as using the cloud. I think
yeah.
that's great. Yeah. Um, and and I've seen a lot more where the Akashic Records is something that's been talked about a lot. So I think this is very relevant for right now in the times because more and more people are trying to access that.
Yes, yes, and they are. And a lot of people think that it's something, I know for myself even, I felt like it was this big, and it's really truly not. We all are tapped into the records all the time, and we can all access our own records. Other people's, that's a whole other thing, probably not for this conversation that we're having today. But with regards to our own, we all have that ability to tap into it. But there's a lot out there that makes it seem like it's something super special, it's only available to certain people or anything like that. And the truth is, no. You can access your own records. And it doesn't have to be this elaborate ritual or anything like that to do. The one caveat that I will say to it that I had to really learn is we can all access the records. We're maybe not all getting accurate information. And that's
Ooh.
where there's a big key to it because sometimes our ego, our conscious mind comes into play and thinks it's pulling out information from the records, and it's actually just pulling out dreams and wishes that maybe we want or whatever, right? So that's one of the things to it. But just people understanding that like you have that ability and you are tapped into it all the time. So one thing I will say as well too, because two aspects of the work that I do. So our blueprint, the Akashic Records, is in the fifth dimension. We also have, which is perfect for this podcast, but we have a manifesting blueprint.
Ooh,
And
I
that
love that.
also is in our records, and that's in the seventh dimension. So, and that our manifesting. So I said our divine soul blueprint is our instruction manual for like how we do life. Really, truly, it's how we access vital force energy, which is the stuff of creation, right? It's what we use to create and which is manifest. Um, but our manifesting blueprint essentially is the framework that each of us, because we do it all differently, just like our blueprints are, we are beautifully unique souls. So that is how we shift vibrational states, which, as you know, that's how we manifest, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, so that is super cool. That little other bit. So again, that's in our records, right? So I access that through tapping into a client's records to get that information. And then, and again, I take that woo-woo information and go, okay, well, this is how you actually utilize it. Because it's one thing to gain incredible insight. It's another thing to know how to use it in our everyday life so that we can create a crazy, wildly abundant AF. Because I love that. I use that all the
Yeah.
time too. But seriously, I swear. So, but that's so we can use it in life because that's again what we're here for.
Yes, and I love that because there's so many different type of modalities, whether it's the Akashic Records or it's astrology or it's human design, any of those things. Like you can have the knowledge of, okay, well, I am this or I have that, but if you don't know how to use it in your own life, like you said, like to be human, how to be human, then it doesn't really help you. It's just extra info that you have. So I love that you actually teach them or you guide them into how they can take this knowledge and, and transmute that into something that they can actually do with it. So that's great.
Yeah. Thank you.
And so I'd love to, I'd love it if you could take us back to a moment where you decided that you wanted to go down this path. Like, was there something that like really stood out for you, or was it like a slow progression? Like, how did you end up becoming a soul architect?
So the soul architect is new. It was really about the activation. The architect, and it's so perfect. Like you were talking about the astrology, the human design, the Akashic Records, our soul's blueprint. Because over the last 5 years, I have done deep learning in all of those and felt at times, and I looked back at it just a month ago where I was like, 2023, I need to incorporate all of this into one because once I had really dived into like the human design, it did all the whole reader training, which yeah, like I have so many certifications. It's kind of funny at this point.
Right. I find
Um,
that most of us in the spiritual realm have so many things, and that's sometimes hard for like if someone's like, "Oh, well, what do you do?" or "What's your experience?" Then we're like, "Well, I've got this."
yeah,
So I feel you there.
that is exactly. And so that's one of the things, right? So I learned that, became a human design reader, did a couple of readings, dove into the whole human design for business because truly my background is small business and entrepreneurship. That's what I went to college for. And it's what I've done for over 25 years now. I keep saying that and realizing that like years pass on. But
Right.
so I did all that and I didn't really do much with it then. But at that point in time, when I was in the training, I thought I need to incorporate all of this, but I wasn't ready for it. And that's one of the things I don't know why I'm sharing that like little blip besides you talked about it. And I think maybe it's just for people to understand that you're going to have things and you might not necessarily be ready to truly embody it fully into your life.
Yes.
But about a month ago, and so I was doing all of this stuff, and it was like, now is the time. I've been utilizing for the last year all three of those aspects in myself, and I realized this now is the time. And so that's where the whole soul architect has kind of come off of, and which also beautifully ties to my blueprint. Again, my divine manifestation is all about building and creating in the physical. What do architects do? They design it and then it gets built. So it's a little bit of that. So just I had to share because that's that tie to what you said. So, but this work itself, oh, it's been a journey for sure. So I will be real because that's who I am. Um, 8 years ago, I had no idea what the Akashic Records were at all. I kept seeing, I always laugh that the universe, God, source, whatever label you want to put on it, when you're ready for something, will put it in front of you. And I had a friend who I've known since we went to like elementary school together, reconnected much later in life through Facebook. And incredible, incredible spiritual guide, mediumship, all the things. And she, at one point, she says to me, come the fall, you're going to know what you're going to do. And I was like, you mean last fall? Because she was like, nope. I thought, okay, I have no idea what she's talking about. And let it go, which is one of those beautiful things about creating, right? So I let it go. Well, that fall, again, I kept seeing this ad on Facebook and it kept talking about manifesting, but in a completely different way. I had read The Secret. I had watched the movie. I understood about the law of attraction and all of that, but I could never tap in. I could not tap in no matter what. So this ad, and I finally thought it's a free webinar on a Sunday afternoon for an hour and a half. What do I have to lose?
Yeah.
This is this we I'm like, what do I have to lose? I have nothing going on right now. So I jumped in. And I still have the notes. I still have the little book. It sits here on my desk of the notes from that webinar. And one of the things within it was Akashic Records. And I was like, question mark, like, what the is this? So
Okay.
but by the end of the thing, I was like, my whole life made sense. And I thought, I need to learn this for myself. That I had no intention of becoming a practitioner in any way, shape, or form. I had been doing so much work. As I said, it explained so much of like what I've been dealing with in my life and how I was creating a lot of it myself. And I had some healing work to do, which I was already very much on a journey of all the bits and pieces. And so but I did. I jumped into the course to learn how all of the framework and everything for myself. That was
I
it.
love that.
But week two, and I said, I can't learn this and not share it with other people. Like, I would be doing the world a disservice if I did not share this. Like, I felt deeply the call that I must become a practitioner so I can help other people. Because if, like, all of a sudden for me, it just opened up. And honestly, I have like my session sheet from like when I was in the training and starting to do the work on myself. I have written on the top of it, holy shit, the entire last 10 years of my life makes sense. Like so that's what I did. And from there it just expanded. So I did like the level one, and then it was like level two, and then it was like the manifesting blueprint. And it was all these bits and pieces, like reading the future in the records, which is a whole other thing. 'Cause people are like, ooh, read the no. Again, it's an energetic thing. It's a probability to possibility. When we look
Right.
at vital force energy and manifesting and shifting, and again, from an energetic standpoint, but all of the different aspects and pieces, I was like, I must learn all of this. So I did all the soul realignment stuff, all the Akashic Record stuff. Then it was again the astrology piece and the which I have been into astrology since I was a kid. I
Me
knew
too.
right? I knew I was an Aries. That's it. I didn't understand the really true depth of it and why I could never always relate to the Aries energy. It's also because, as you know, people who know astrology, you know it's so much more. Um,
Yes. It's
so I'm
not
a
just your
Taurus.
sun sign. There's
Exactly. Your
so many
top
layers.
three, yeah, your top three is a big one. So I'm a Taurus moon and a Virgo rising, which is a lot of grounded earth energy. So it makes sense.
That's so
Um,
funny because I'm also a Taurus moon.
are you? Oh,
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
So, which makes sense, kind of. We do similar. We do
Yes.
similar work in our own ways, which is again, we're all beautifully unique.
Right.
But that Taurus moon makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's like the whole again, which brought it all the bits and pieces, and to me back to where to this moment. So, hopefully, that kind of answered that for you.
Yeah. No, it totally does. It totally does. Now, what is something that recently, what felt like a real life magic moment recently, whether that's for you or for a client that you had?
Oh gosh. There's been so many recently that I often say, I'm like, I need to keep track of these because I don't know if you find this, but like sometimes there's so much. I am very much in my creator energy right now, and so there's a lot that's shifting, a lot that's shifting.
Yes.
So can I pinpoint something specific? Uh, I think I actually have two, and they're pretty short. So if you're okay with share, one's
Yeah.
a
No,
client,
go for it.
one was with a client, and it blew me away. I mean, it blew my client away as well, but it really blew me away. But the first one was so about 6 months after I had again learned all the training, done all the thing, and everything like that. And I remember like there was all this stuff. I had a car. I'd gone through a divorce. My car was still in my ex's name. And I really wanted to get out of it, but I thought, I don't want to pay money. Didn't figure anything was going to happen. I was just going to be stuck with it. Well, all of a sudden, all these things started aligning because there was a demand for used cars. And so the dealership where I had bought my that car was like, we want it back. And then all of a sudden something happened. And so, needless to say, I'm in that car and I'm driving into the city to go to a dealership to meet with somebody who not only like the pricing and everything just all beautifully aligned, but I'm driving and I'm thinking to myself, I was actually chatting with a friend of mine who was one of my practice clients to be able to get my certification when I decided like I need to actually do this. And I'm driving and I'm telling her the story. I'm driving down like because she knew so much of my life because I knew her personally. And
Mhm.
I'm like, and all of a sudden, boom, it dropped in. 6 months ago, I did this work and change. Like it was so much change that it just happened that this magically, like I threw it out to the universe as a joke a month before my birthday and said, Universe, I'll take this, a picture of the car at a different dealership. But I was just like, again, as a total joke, I will take this for my birthday. I picked it up exactly 1 month after my birthday. So 2 months after I, as a
Wow.
joke, put it out to the universe that I'll take this car. Car better than anything that I had ever driven before.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Honestly, at that point in time in my life, it was a dream car for me. And in 2 months, it happened. And so that to me right there was like, this is the beautiful magic of this work. Like, this is
Yes.
truly what got me to say, I need this. And it just happened right there, you know?
I love
Um,
that. And that shows too like how fast that you can end up manifesting something in your life. Like a lot of people think like, "Oh, it's got to be, this super long time frame," but it doesn't. I mean, that just shows you were able to manifest that new vehicle in 2 months. That's great, you know? That's
yeah.
wonderful.
Well, exactly. And this would be a whole podcast episode. But if I went into the specifics of how it worked out, people would be like, wow. Because again, it was one of these things. But I will share one of the biggest things to it because I threw it out jokingly and I had zero attachment to it. So there was no resistance. It was just like, let's have the fun. And that is a beautiful thing when you are actually manifesting, especially
Yes.
consciously, right? Because that shows the beauty. Like it really can drop in so quickly. So yeah, within a month, I was driving to the dealership, and then like another month later, because they had to find my car, and the car. So again, from a different dealership, the car was identical to the one that I had taken the picture of because
Wow.
you can kind of like customize some of the things. And at that point in time, I wasn't really picky. I was just like, I'll take whatever. But every single thing, the wheels, the little th bits and pieces, the picture of my car that I picked up from a completely different dealership was identical to the one that I put on my stories on Instagram as a joke, saying, I'll take this for my birthday. So, yeah, beautiful
Love
magic.
that.
So the other one, very quick, I was on session with a client and she was talking about because sometimes I'm guiding people and we're working through things. And so she was talking about she was undergoing a lot of change in her life and she was looking at moving, but she was really having a difficult time figuring out like getting a place. She had put some offers on some places or they were all too expensive for her budget and all of these things. So we're talking, it's close to the end of the session and I'm like, I don't know if there's something like 20, I'm like 20 minutes, like approximately 20 minutes. Can you look something? And so she kind of stopped for a second. She's like, I mean, maybe because she needed to stay close to her job. She wanted to stay close to her parents where she was living at the time. She needed to stay closer to her ex for her kids and to also for their schooling. So again, like there was, needless to say, a couple weeks later, she messages me and she says, I got a place listed all the things she says is absolutely perfect and you'll never guess. Well, you probably will guess because you know the story and I'm telling you. She's like, yeah, it's 20 minutes from where. And she was not in at all thinking of looking there. She was very close-minded as to where she was looking. But when I said to her about something about 20 minutes, it just caused her to kind of expand beyond what she was closed in on and found the perfect place, the perfect location. Absolutely, when she shared and sent me pictures, it is absolutely perfect for her. This is a client who I've worked with for years. It was absolutely perfect for her. Um, Price was like everything was perfect. Very much a little bit like, my car situation and story. So.
That's wonderful. That's awesome. And I'm glad that just by you like telling her like expand it just a little bit, then she was able to find what she like her it sounds like her dream house.
Yes, she would say, and she said, like, it's her dream house. Yeah, she wasn't so surprised by it all. But I definitely, but that was one of those things. I was like, I don't know why I'm just feeling to tell you 20 minutes. And so, as I said, it was just like she was a little bit of like the reading the futures, right? Because it's the probability and possibility. And I was just
Right.
causing her, she was like looking over here, and I was just having her like look at, put in offers on and all of this kind of stuff. So,
Okay. And so something else that I'd love to know is a way that our audience can shift their energy a little bit. So what's one aligned action or piece of advice that you can give our listeners to shift their energy today?
okay. Well, I love that you use the word aligned action because that's truly ultimately it. And that's the thing is most of the time we are doing things that are not aligned. So,
Yes.
what I want to say is follow a spark. Think about your day. Maybe when you woke up, you had an inspiration. How often do we think something, but we don't follow through with it? And so that could be, deciding to, I'm going to go get a tea or I'm going to go to a different grocery store or, you know what, I want to post this, but then you stop yourself. So those little sparks and inspirations, honestly, they are like I call them it's your internal GPS that's guiding you. So follow one of those. Think back to today if you had anything like that and you didn't follow through on it. Go do it now. If not, tomorrow, pay attention and just see if there's something and you want to brush it off and think, well, that's silly. Why would I do that? No, I want you to do it. Just do it. Obviously I'm not talking about big huge things, but just
Right.
follow those little sparks. And those are oftentimes your aligned actions and you don't realize it. So
I think that's great advice because there's been so many times where I'm like I get that little spark, I get that little nudge to do this or that. I'm like, I don't know why I need to do that, but okay. And so then I do, and then maybe I meet somebody new who teaches me about this or that, or perhaps like I just have more joy. Like maybe I was in a bad mood, and then all of a sudden like I'm so much happier, and then because I'm happier, like more good things are happening. Is so I love that piece of advice.
can I share a quick story to that
Yeah, yeah,
to really
totally.
kind of prove and ground this? Because
Yeah.
I love this one. So I had gotten a new phone and I didn't have a case for it. I didn't like any of the cases at the sell place where I had gotten it. So I was
Yeah,
like, okay, I'm just gonna get something from Apple. I'm gonna order it. And I tried to order it and I kept trying to order it to get it delivered because I am so paranoid about walking around with a brand new phone that doesn't have a case on it. So um
same.
it kept like it was like it'll deliver it to my house this week, and I thought that's fantastic. But the order never went through. It never went. I was like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Like, what is going on? So I made the decision, and I will tell you, I have had not set foot in a mall in a really long time, and I really had no interest to. But I was like, hey, I'm just gonna go to the mall, parking like the entrance right by the Apple store, pop into the Apple store, buy the case, and pop back out. And I put it off for almost the entire day until I was finally like, this is silly, Lindsay. Just go to the store. So I get into my car. And what do I get a spot right by, and this is like one of the busiest entrances at the mall. You never get a spot right up the first absolute spot. I got the first absolute spot, first
Wow,
off.
nice.
Now I'm walking in, so I go into the mall, I go right, and I'm walking into the Apple store, and somebody walking out is a friend of mine who I had not seen in a just over 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't recognize her. She was pushing a little dog in a stroller. I did not recognize her. She recognized me. And she was like, "Oh my God, we are dear, dear friends." But again, long story, I'd suffered a brain injury, not lost contact, but really had to focus on healing and all the things. So, anyways, I had
Absolutely.
still connected with her online and I kept for years kept feeling the nudge. I need to reach out to her. I need to reach out to her, just like send her a message. Anyways, she's walking out right as I'm walking in. So if I hadn't left when I finally did, if I didn't get that front parking spot, I would have missed her.
Yeah.
So instead, we chatted for probably 20 minutes. I got my case, got back home. We went out for dinner. She shared about what I did. She was like, I need you to do this for me. Like it was just this beautiful thing because again, like, and all the bits and pieces, the fact that I couldn't actually get it ordered to my house, all of it had to happen, right?
Right,
To
exactly.
to have her and I at that exact moment, because as I said, if I would have had to walk a little bit further from where my car would have normally been parked, she would have already left the store, and I
Hmm.
would not have been walking past her. So yeah.
Exactly. That's a great example. Absolutely. So
Right.
now, as we go ahead and close the circle of this podcast, what's one thing that you'd love to leave our listeners with, whether it's something that you're creating, something that you love, or simply where they can find you, or all of the above?
Okay. Well, definitely all of the above. So if people want to find me, I am Lindsay Grace. So on Instagram, on Threads, I'm the Lindsay Grace. So you can find me that way. On Facebook, obviously my name is Lindsay Grace. It's She's Lindsay Grace on Facebook if people wanted to find me there, or you can also just search Lindsay Grace. You'll see like my picture's the same across all the things to make it easy for people to find me. And so if anybody's interested in actually learning like their framework, again, their manifesting blueprint. So I have two things for that. I have a reading which is it's not simple, it's in depth, but it's all done by like email. I basically go in, do the whole thing, and then give you like this is your framework. Follow this.
Mm,
A lot
nice.
of people want to go a little bit deeper, so I actually took all of it plus all of my experience and everything and brought it all together and kind of created a program that just about to run another beta on, and it's called the Soul Aligned Manifesting Method. So if anybody wants to actually like learn aligned manifesting, again, align to them. I'm not teaching
Right.
you my methods for manifesting. I'm teaching you yours. Align to you. And there's the whole blueprint lab part of it. So yeah, I'm running another beta program for that. Probably, there's no like official start date. It's kind of you can do it when and wherever you want, but within the month of February. So if anybody's interested in that, they can definitely reach out to me on any of the channels. I'm not putting this out there massively publicly to the world But if anybody listening is like, I want in on that because the beta run on it is an absolute steal, they can just reach out to me.
Perfect. I love that. I love how personalized that they can create their manifesting blueprint. That's amazing.
Thank you. And also, too, I will just throw out. So I do have like my in-depth soul architecture reading, which again goes into your astrology, your human design, your Akashic Records, so your whole divine soul blueprint, like all of those aspects. So if you want to really truly know like how to embody your soul in the human, there is that as well too. But I mean anything, just people are more than welcome to reach out to me or just follow me on any of the channels because I do share. I try to give a lot as much as I can, so I share a lot on those as well too.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll have all of the links and the links to your socials in the show description. So if anybody wants access to that, then they can just easily look at the show description and they'll be able to uh, link directly to you. So that'll be great. And
Wonderful.
anything else you want to share before we end the podcast today?
Well, first, I want to thank you, Monica, for
Oh,
having me on and having this conversation.
of course.
You are just like such a beautiful soul.
Oh,
I
thank
love your
you.
energy and your vibe. It's so good. What I want to say, I think I want to end people with is because sometimes we need this reminder that your desires are not for nothing. And if there's things that you desire in your life, like, go after them. We are not meant to live a life of struggle and lack and all of these things. I mean, Monica's all about abundance. She well knows, like, we are supposed to have beautifully abundant lives. And then that's an abundance of everything. So I just want people to not diminish the things that their soul truly desires because there's a reason for that. It's supposed to be part of your experience. And so go for it. Like, don't, again, just like the sparks, don't diminish your desires, your wants, your wishes. Go for them. You know, you deserve to have them.
Beautiful, beautifully said. I love that. And so, everyone, you have been listening to the Magic Manifesting Mindset podcast with your host, Monica, and our special guest, Lindsay, the soul architect and soul activator. And I hope that you guys have a beautiful day and happy manifesting.